one of the things that I thought I would just take a minute and share is I want to kind of talk about different areas, really maybe buckets, for people to be aware in that many times we're not. We talk about retirement, and that's part of it, retirement planning, investments. But there's really different areas, and you've got to be aware of all of them. They're all flow together. And so when we're talking about, what we call personal financial planning, which has become a very important subject, that's a new term for many, but it's you planning your household and how to, live through that. You've got to put some things in place. And so there's really 6 areas that we try to focus on. There's others, but 6 primary areas.
6 buckets.
6 different buckets. And, the first one, of course, is tax planning. You pay your taxes, but you always want to look to minimize taxes where you can. And many times people miss obvious things. We were talking about maybe somebody's looking for a new car. Well, right now is a good time if I want an electric car. Well, they're giving some good tax breaks. There's some good things with that. Contributing to your 401k, to an IRA, many times creates some great tax breaks that you get. So you want to minimize tax. You want to take full advantage of that. You want to do everything legally, pay your taxes, but there's some ways. So you want to think about tax planning as a bucket. How can you be efficient? Work with a good accountant that can help you to do that. The second one is what we call cash flow planning and savings. Your saving and spending policies. I tell people all the time, if you don't have a saving and spending policy, you're going to be shocked at where your money's going. And the old adage when I was growing up was, if you don't tell your money where to go, you'll wonder where it went. That's still true.
Still true.
And that's one of the things you've got to have. What is our cash flow style? What does our savings look like? What do we do? What do we spend our money on? If you don't know that as an individual, as a couple, you'll be shocked by the things you spend on. So that's a bucket you have to have. Your investments. You've got to deploy your resources for the future. Some of your current spending has to be deployed for your future. If not, then when you get to your future, there's not going to be anything there. So part of investing is finding out ways to invest for your future. How do you do that? How do you efficiently deploy those resources so that when you get to your future, they've worked for you? And that's something you've got to constantly look at. Another one that's important people forget is risk management. What is risk management? It really is limiting your household exposure to uncertainty. That's really what it is. How do we limit our household exposure to uncertainty? Uncertainty is going to happen. Uncertainty happens to everybody. That's what we share as human beings. But how do I limit that? Obviously, insurance is a great way to do that. There's a variety of different insurances that you need to look at and in planning, and so that's part of it. People ask, well, is insurance good? Yes, there's many times it's good. What I usually explain with insurance is it's risk transfer. While I'm building my wealth and I'm building things for my family and I'm younger, life insurance, for example, means I transfer that for a small amount, or depending on what kind of policy you get, for amount of money, I transfer that risk to a company that says, we're going to walk with you and we're going to trade off here. Now, there's a lot of funny things about that, but it's an important part of your planning in your life. So you've got to look at some risk management. Then retirement planning, like we talked about. Retirement planning is life cycle planning, not just saving for the future, but how does that, when I sit down with somebody on retirement planning, I tend to include health. What's your health? You've got to have, you want to be healthy. You don't want to have a lot of money and get there. So retirement planning is, what am I going to do in the later years of my life? What I do today is going to affect what happens in the future. Like you were talking about, doubling down, investing, that changes things. So you've got to figure out, when you talk about retirement planning, what's the life cycle what's that going to look like? What do I need to do? And then the last one that many people miss is estate planning, because we just dismiss that and say, well, I don't have that much money. I don't make that much money. I don't have really an estate. But that's really about what you're going to do to pass on to the next generation, even if it's small. And many times little things can make a big impact with that. That can be as easy as somebody not having, if you have assets, making sure you have your beneficiary form filled out. That document is very powerful and can help avoid probate many times if you have everything else set up. So you want to have those things, those 6 buckets, be working them. Most people just think of saving money, but you really have to think more holistically in financial planning and not just, I want to get amass a lot of money. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast today. I hope there are some things that can really help you to get investing or keep investing. That is our desire here. I wanted to make quick mention of helpmeinvest.com. Helpmeinvest.com, an organization that we've put together. There's no fees. There's no products to sell you. It is literally designed to help you invest, to become a better investor. So you can go there, set up an appointment for 30 minutes. We'll spend some time with you. We'll go through your portfolio. We'll help you get started wherever you're at. Helpmeinvest.com. I hope you'll take advantage of it. I hope that you will continue to send in your questions. They mean a lot to us because we can talk about a lot of things, but what we really want to do is find out what's important to you, the level of understanding, the questions that you have, so hopefully that we can add value to your investment knowledge and that you can increase and grow in that and stay curious and read as much as you can, get as much information. But when you have a question, please feel free to just send that in to us. Send those questions in because we really do enjoy them, and answering them helps us to make sure that we're being relevant and pertinent to you.